Be honest with me, Martin. Are you surprised?
I'm always honest.
That's true. Are you surprised by how well Mourinho has done at the club? How he seems to... No?
Well, no, not at all, because you look at the track record. The only question mark I had with Mourinho was he seemed to form a special relationship with the Chelsea players in his first tenure at Chelsea. Second time round, they didn't like him. The players, there was some, whether it was egos, whether it was the success was being, he was indulging in the success and it wasn't being shared amongst the players. And it can never be an us and them situation. Players don't like that. They read every paper, they pick up every signal. Now it feels as if Mourinho is totally at one with the players at Spurs. He wasn't at Manchester United. I see that in Jurgen Klopp. I see that with Guardiola to a certain extent. The top managers now, they follow every step with the players. It's a shared pathway. It feels like that with Mourinho. When they put Chelsea out of the League Cup, you could see the way he was embracing the players. I don't know if you saw that penalty shootout. He's at one with the club. He seems happy again. He seems to be reinvigorated. Sacramento is his assistant manager. They tell me that he's one of the best in Europe. Ledley King coming back, a former defender at the football club, understands. He's putting it all together, the pieces of that jigsaw puzzle. And it's hard to back against them. I don't think they'll win the league, but I think they're going to go some way to saying who does win it.
Do you feel that Mourinho operates best when he's an underdog, with an underdog of a team? Because I look back at his history, Porto winning the Champions League all those years ago, that was an underdog story. We look at his time at Chelsea. When he first came to the club, Chelsea are not who they are in 2020 or 2021. I think they only won the league title once prior to that. It's a very different Chelsea. The Abramovich millions that have been pumped into that club has changed the landscape of football. So I would still classify them as underdogs at that point in time. But when you look at Real Madrid, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, Martin. When you look at Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, you can't classify them as underdogs. Inter Milan winning the treble, underdogs.
Well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're wrong there, because if you remember, he went in against Barcelona at that point, were absolutely brilliant.
Well, exactly.
Winning Champions League success, and he only managed to win one of the Spanish titles. So he was the underdog to a certain extent in that situation, as well, as big as Real Madrid are. Maybe he does. I just feel that he seems to be a nicer guy. When he came in as the special one, there was that arrogance, but it was nicely balanced. Now that balance is there again. I've not heard the interview from today's game. I'd be interested to hear what he says. I can pretty well be certain that he'd be saying he doesn't think they have any chance to win the league. They're very lucky to be where they are. Yeah, we'll hear the same things, but he deep down believes that he can win again and win big.
We're still waiting for those post-match interviews from the manager to come through. What about your take here, Gary? Has this surprised you? And I have to ask you to try to take off the Spurs hat and be as impartial as possible.
Well, I think I have been impartial, and I generally am. Like, I said earlier, you would think I'd love to smash Arsenal to pieces, but actually I gave you a constructive answer. Mourinho likes to prove people wrong. So if he's at a huge club and everyone's telling him he's going to win the league, then maybe that doesn't particularly suit him. I think there were a lot of doubters when he went in at Spurs. I remember tweeting that, these don't look a particularly good fit. Spurs, who have a generally tight budget, and Mourinho, who loves to buy ready-made players for invariably big money. I hope it works out. I'm not sure. And I think because there were so many doubters, Mourinho's kind of rubbed his hands together and gone, yeah, I like this little challenge. I'm going to prove a few people wrong here. And he's grown on me. Martin's right. I think he's modified his moodiness that he had, his almost depression that he had, to be honest with you, at Manchester United. He's got that twinkle back in his eye. I think he's enjoying working with this group of players. The players are clearly enjoying working with him. And that mix is certainly paying dividends at the moment.
And Martin,
Adam, just something else not to forget. They were playing in a Champions League final, but 2 years ago. It wasn't exactly as if he had to turn this football club around. Pochettino in 5 years had done an incredible job. And off the pitch as well, with the new stadium, the training ground, the facilities that Mourinho has to work for. and work on every day. He knows he's in a special place. He has to pinch himself every day. He's back there again. And you wondered whether he'd ever get a chance like that after the Manchester United job went so wrong for him, really, because he was expected, wasn't he, to go on and win the Premier League there, spent a fortune while he was there. So he's back in the big time again, and he loves that.
Yeah, just want to clarify why I positioned him at Real Madrid as an underdog, only because I've always viewed Madrid as judging themselves from a European standard, not so much from La Liga. And even when they won the treble, the 3 titles, the three-peat, they didn't seem to care so much about La Liga, the fact they weren't winning that competition much, but they were winning in Europe.